Guys, welcome to Real Talk. My name is Jerry Miller. It's good to be with you on a Friday. We're live in Charlottesville. We're live in the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. Real Talk, powered by the Yes Team. Realtors Keith and Yonna Smith, making an impact in our community, and this show is a good example. We're working as a team and heading in one direction, and that's positive. And as my friend and the star of our program says, this too shall pass. Judah Wick, our director. Let's go to studio camera and welcome Keith Smith to the show. Keith, good morning, my friend.
Good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody likes my new mustache.
I do.
I need to have that mustache. Had it since 1985. We're going to ask Judah to pop in every once in a while between guests a little mantra that we've been following and been saying, and that is stay safe and stay positive, and that's going to be kind of the theme of our shows for the next month. Stay safe, positive. Try to get out some good information. Talk about some positivity that's going on, and we'll talk about that here in a minute about the MarieBette gift cards we're going to give out today, and plus we're going to give out some masks. There's a local artisan from Syria that makes these, refugee, and we'll pop a couple of links in and out, but we have some pretty awesome guests coming on today. We've got the president-elect of CAR, just to kind of offer, we have a lot of real estate agents watching this show, offer some support and what CAR is doing to help them and help their customers through this crisis. And then we have a good fellow friend, New Yorker, fellow friend of mine, Joseph Gentile.
Great guy.
He is in the middle of this in Long Island. We're going to talk a little bit about how Pearl is helping people through this and check in on him. And then one of my dearest personal friends here in Charlottesville, Jason with MarieBette, talk about how they're doing and how we can help support them through this crisis. And then more importantly, how I can order my hot cross buns for this Easter weekend. I don't know if it's happy Good Friday, but today is Good Friday.
That's right.
Today is the third day of Passover.
That's
so
right.
For my Jewish friends, happy Passover. Happy Easter to my Christian friends. And I believe this is also Ramadan, so our Muslim friends.
Very well said, my friend.
Thank you.
Real Talk, powered by the Yes Team Realtors, also powered by Roy Wheeler Realty Company. Michael Guthrie, Roy Wheeler Realty Company, trusted advisors in the real estate game. We're live on 12 Facebook pages. We will welcome Quinton Beckham to the program and leave 4 minutes. 4 MarieBette gift cards to give away.
$25 a piece.
$25 MarieBette gift cards. We have 4 of them. We're going to ask a Charlottesville trivia question soon, and we're going to ask you to put the comments in the comment section. How do you want to give away these fabulous masks that come like this?
You know,
they're wonderful.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. They're well done. They're very comfortable. The interesting thing, the fabric has been donated to this refugee couple. It's actually an African wax fabric, so it's really perfectly suited for this protection that we should be wearing if we go out and about. So we'll drop in the feed. They're wonderful people. We're gonna give away 10. I don't know. To me, however you come up with a question, maybe the question might be something about this show or something like that.
I like it. Give the show a like and a share.
I do want to talk about the cards real quick.
Yeah.
So I just want to give a shout out to this community and to this town.
Love it.
So we've been giving away MarieBette gift cards, I guess now for 3 or 4 shows, right?
Yeah.
Every single winner of these called me when I called them up, talked to me when I called them up to say, how do you want me to get your gift card to me? And every single one of them said, please give it to somebody who's in need. Please give it to somebody who's homeless. And that's what we're doing. So, it's just a testament to this town, to the spirit of this town, and this too shall pass. So anyway, I wanted to take a moment on this platform and give a shout out to Charlottesville and the region, because not a single one, we're like $400 worth of gift cards we've given out. Not a single one has went to the recipient. It all went to a family in need.
A testament to the community, undoubtedly. Quinton Beckham, about 60 seconds away. Judah, we'll welcome him shortly. Before we do, Keith, you're a trusted advisor. You're a realtor. You're a leader in the community. How's it been? How's your life? How's your mental health? How are things going?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I mean, to be totally honest with everybody, those who may have watched the Congressman Riggleman show, who know me well, knew about halfway through that interview, I kind of got very super emotional. This hits a little too close to 9/11 for me personally, and lost many dozens of persons and family members that we knew there. So when the congressman was talking about that, I had a hard time holding back tears. So, we're getting up every morning. We're positive people to start with, and we're just helping people the best way we can.
Well said. Tracy Shiflett says that's great. Respect there. Thank you, Tracy, for watching. I'm going to reach out to Quinton. Now, Judah, I'm giving you a heads up on that. Why Quinton Beckham for the show?
Yeah, so Quinton's a dynamic character and a bit of a rock star, and we personally have a pretty close relationship, and we're going to take this opportunity for the next few minutes to share some information with realtors on how they can survive, and Quinton's going to chime in and do that, and more importantly, how they can get information to their customers. And actually on Tuesday, we're going to bring in a couple of lenders to talk about how they can go ahead and take advantage of these deferments and other opportunities. But one of the things that hopefully Quinton will talk about is this new unemployment for 1099 employees, which is quite a few of us. So those who don't receive payroll checks. Yep. We survive off of 1099. So Quinton will jump in and share some great information.
Judah, we'll go to the phone now. We have Quinton Beckham on the line. Are you ready to bring him in, Judah? All right. Quinton, you are on the show. Quinton, why don't we start with this? How's it going, man? I mean, it's a crazy world out there. How are you doing personally?
I'm really good. I am staying at home and working from home, and fortunately, I am in a position where that's pretty easy to do. Love the mask.
What are you talking about? That is my stash.
My biggest concern right now is that my hair is getting too long, and so the next time you see me, I may have just buzzed it off.
Yeah, that's how we started our conversation, Jerry and I, this morning. So how's your hair doing? But anyway.
Yeah.
So this is your time. We talked yesterday a little bit about it. We have a ton of real estate agents and other folks watching that are in this space that we're in. And please tell us what CAR is doing to help us and help our clients. I'm sorry about that.
I think everything sort of falls under this umbrella that we always talk about, that when it comes to real estate, you need a trusted advisor when you're making transactions. And just because people cannot do transactions does not remove the role of a trusted advisor. We can talk about mortgage deferments and what forbearance versus deferment and what are questions and answers that clients should know when they're talking to their lenders. We can talk about real estate agents who need to survive a period where they may have little to no income. I think the VEC and the ability to gather unemployment as a 1099 is amazing. That just started up today. You can go onto their website. You apply as though you're a wage employee. You get denied because you're not a wage employee, and you will get a phone call or a text message back leading you to the next step to participate in a federal program, which is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, whereby you can qualify for unemployment just like everybody else while you're working through this process. It's a little bit longer than the standard one because they're making up some of it as they go, and you should expect for some things not to make sense because they started thinking about this about 3 weeks ago, but it's out there and it's available. We want, as an association and as an industry, to have educated by this 30, 60, 90-day period where the world has changed in how we operate with one another. And if you look at NAR's website, they're offering courses for free. So they're trying to get the ePro out so that agents can engage electronically. They're doing a lot of education so that there's things for agents to do between now and then.
So we always say this in our industry, and the source of the source. Be the source of the source, right? So this doesn't have to be specific to real estate, right? So we're having a conversation with a family member. I had one this morning. They are, they both are on furloughed and they're worried about their mortgage payment. And I said, look, so this is what you need to do. You need to reach out to your loan processor, your servicer, and I helped them through this morning, and now they're online to go ahead and get their deferment, which is a great thing because they were panicking. So this is all about providing information. I'm super intrigued about this 1099 thing, which has all just happened literally within the last 3 days. So we're in the real estate world, but this is applicable to anybody who has a 1099. So as we know, small businesses is a huge portion of our economy, and we work with folks like home inspectors and so forth and so on that are also they receive 1099s. So this is applicable to everybody who receives a 1099, correct? Okay,
that is
cool.
correct. So all of the services that support what we do and what our clients need can apply for this and keep practicing and keep moving forward through this. We are the source of the source, which means we have contacts all over the place that do home inspections, that repair small items at homes, that do things that are really central and important to the processes that our clients really need. And so this will support those folks as well. And I encourage folks that are experiencing some kind of financial hardship, reach out sooner rather than later, because we want everybody to be well over this period of time while we're moving through this.
You have multiple questions coming in. This question's coming in from multiple realtors. What is the website for 1099 individuals if you choose to file, Quinton?
So you would start out at it's vec.virginia.gov/COVID-19.
So Quinton, what we'll do is we'll put that website in the feed here as we go through the show. So those who are watching it, they can go ahead and do that. And I would also recommend that if any of these real estate agents have other 1099 employee or folks that they work with, to forward that to them so they can apply, get this information out.
And Judah, and I'm going to relay this to Judah. Quinton texted it to me. Well done. Quinton right there, multitasking. Very impressive. vec.virginia.gov/COVID-19. I'll text it to you, Judah. Keith, jump in here.
Yeah, just real quick. Hey, Judah, it's on the talking point sheet that I gave you if you want to grab that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
All righty. So what else do you want to share that's on the association's mind? We've got a bunch of folks listening here. What resources can they reach out to? What resources that's available to them that they can help their clients or friends use?
We are talking amongst all of the committee last week amongst CAR, and we're developing a single page that you would be able to access through the association website that will have all of these links. We know agents are getting bombarded with emails from well-meaning providers, lenders, vendors, and different levels of the association, and we're trying to gather all of that into one space. There's also a lot of work on the education arm to have Zoom education happen in smaller chunks. If you're on a Zoom call with 100 people, that's not terribly interactive. But if you're on a Zoom call with 12, you can have some really good conversations in there where you can see faces, see expressions, and share a lot of information. Another big benefit for agents that may have issues with health insurance, NAR has rolled out a telemedicine service at the National Association website that is free, that you can sign up for 2 months of free service. You can make an appointment online and see a physician for things that are simple, but for which you may not be able to go to your regular doctor or just simply may not be covered. And so you can see a physician that's licensed in Virginia. You can talk through what you need. They can send prescriptions. It's just like going to the doctor's office.
So we have that link in the notes that you provided. So we'll ask Judah, our director, to also upload that into the feed. at least as a stopgap until you're able to get your hub up and running at CAR. So those who are watching this show will put this in, and you can just share it with other fellow realtors and other folks. So that telemedicine is only available to real estate agents, correct? Thank you. Thank you.
You're getting a lot of props from realtors that are watching now, Quinton. Tracy has said, I'm glad these resources are available for people. Thank you for educating us. A good friend of this program and family to Keith over here, James Watson, said, can realtors set their businesses up as S corporations? If so, they should be eligible for both the state unemployment insurance and federal benefits.
I'll tackle that.
Yeah, please.
We are, yes, Realtors is an S corporation, been an S corporation forever. The answer is it's easy to do. Actually, and it leads in, next Friday, Yonna and I's personal CPA.
Who's that?
Charles Albaugh.
Okay.
Has agreed to Skype in to talk about exactly how this is working from a tax filing perspective and from an accountant perspective, how this affects individuals. So I'm excited about that. He agreed to.
Fantastic. Quinton, this question for you here. What are you hearing from your colleagues? What are you hearing from the young ones that don't have the burn rate, say, the experienced ones have? What's the fear? What's the panic? What's the calm? What's the mindset?
Certainly everybody's worried about what's going to happen to them and how they're going to work a business through all of this. And I think a lot of what we teach and train has not changed. You need to be in contact with your clientele, with those people that depend on you. You need to find the information and the sources that they need and make those connections. And I think I would just suggest everybody look at this as two events. There is one event, which is the pandemic and the restrictions that we're under, the sources that we need for our clientele during that event. And then there's a second event that's not really going to start till these restrictions are lifted. And that's going to be, what are the changes in the economy and where do I need to be focused when that happens? We've lived through the crash. We've watched that happen. And there's a lot of agents that did well before it, survived the crash, and are doing well now. And I expect we'll see more of that. And I don't want anybody to think that that's not them. It is them, if they choose to be so. Really lean into the technology, lean into the education. If you're new at this, find a mentor. Find somebody that's been at this for 10, 15, 20 years and have them be your source and really embrace all the stuff that's going out. I know there's just a lot of challenges out there, but I do not want anybody to be dismayed or feel like this is something they cannot survive, overcome, and come out better on the other side.
Well said.
Well, Quinton, I for the leadership team and my personal affection towards you and Tom and everybody over there at CAR, this was a big ask to come out and get information out, so we appreciate it. One of the things that I just kind of want to wrap our conversation up a little bit, when the Congressman Riggle was on, I asked him this question, the one that you just outlined. What does this look like on the other side? How do we ramp out of this back into the normal, or is there a new normal? Excuse me, I got to adjust my mask, touch my mustache here. So he's agreed to come back on and talk about that. Also, if those can keep a track on it, I'm pretty close to getting Senator Warner to come in.
Nice.
And Skype in like you and talk about what this looks like on the back end. How do we come through this and ramp our economy back up? No one knows that answer. Most likely they don't. They get firsthand information from our elected officials on what they're thinking. So keep an eye out. We're getting close, but not quite there yet.
Absolutely. I think the effects of the economy overlaps on real estate.
Sure.
Real estate is still its own thing. It's affected by, but it's not completely subjected to the effects of the economy. We still have people with a really compelling need to to move from one house to the next, and it doesn't matter what's going on around them. They have a very compelling need, and we as professionals need to be really digging in to help them meet those needs. That is our job. That is why we're here.
Well, thank you. Any other questions on the feed that you want to ask?
The one question, and it's an open-ended one, and that's coming up here, is it's like, what's this going to look like when we're done? What's the market going to look like? Are we going to have a spring market, all the technology piece? I mean, just what does it look like when we're on the other side of COVID-19 in Central Virginia?
I don't know that anybody has a really good long-term answer for that. We're going to have to see what happens over the next several weeks. I can tell you that it is my sincere belief, and the data so far supports this. We have a lot of people that have exited the market today that the minute these restrictions are up, they're going to need to move. Yeah. They have a need to move. They have a desire, and we need to be prepared for that. I think what you'll see in real estate is a series of peaks based on as each piece of the economy comes back online and as each social restriction is removed. How high those peaks are and are there valleys in between? I don't know. We need to wait and see that happen. I would tell you that thinking outside of this first 30, 60, 90-day thing, that's something for brokers to do. Agents need to stay focused in this individual time period in meeting the needs of their clients, and let the associations, the brokers, and the mentors feed them what they need to be prepared for on the other side.
So I'll add one little comment to that, just a little bit of lineup. We're also working on this show to bring in the chief economist for Virginia Realtors, also potentially the chief economist for NAR to talk. They answer that very question. So everybody, the scheduling of guests is a little bit fluid, but we're stacking this up for the next couple of weeks, so we could just be for the moment, the best of our ability, just dump and be the trusted source to get information out as many folks as possible. So we're on a little bit of a tight timeline. I know you are too. I just wanted to thank you very much so for taking this opportunity. It's here anytime you want it to get some information out. But hey, man, thank you very much, particularly about that 1099. That's a huge piece of information to get out.
I really appreciate you guys letting me come on. I've always enjoyed this, and thank you for doing this for the larger community to keep information flowing. I appreciate it.
Quinton, you're the man. Thank you. Good people right there. Quinton Beckham, good people. Joseph, we're going to get to you in a matter of moments. Joseph is watching in New York. He's a Pearl certification. We're going to welcome him. In fact, I'm Skyping him now. Judah, 2 minutes for Joseph. Great interview from Quinton.
Oh, yeah.
Throw that to you.
Yeah, so, the whole intent here is just to get information out the best way we can. And you mentioned this the other day. I had to look up the definition of Rolodex because I don't think I've seen one in quite some time. But I'm reaching into my contacts over 30-something years and trying to bring as much information in as possible. Really super excited about talking to Joe, other than, we're fellow New Yorkers, so we speak the same language. And
he's got a home studio.
Yeah, he's got a home studio. I'm super proud of him. But
yeah,
for just to put this in perspective, to put this in perspective, those of you that have an iPhone and have the weather app on it, you can actually open it in and put an address, and there's a COVID-19 little icon. You can click on it, and it will tell you real time number of cases, unfortunately number of deaths. And I checked where my good friend Joe is coming from, and he's in the middle of it. It is a huge number. So I'm super thankful for him taking his opportunity, and looking forward to the conversation.
Judah, I'm going to get him on the line, giving you a heads up. We're communicating with our director, Judah Wickhauer. He's in New York. He is the National Vice President of Sales at Pearl Certification. We just want to catch up with our friend with how life is in New York.
Literally, that's how's my buddy in New York doing, and how's Pearl doing, and how's Pearl helping its customers and its clients.
I love it.
Move forward.
So Judah, we have Joseph Gentile on the line. We can go to him. He is the National Vice President of Sales Strategy at Pearl Certification. One of the great guys out there. And Joe, we want to talk Pearl. We want to talk some real estate. You're live now. We just want to catch up with a friend. I mean, New York is hit hard. My in-laws from New York. My wife from New York. They have family. They're touching base constantly to making sure everyone's healthy. Give us the update, man. What's new in your world? How's this? Everyone safe? And how about New York as well, Joseph?
Yeah, so thankfully we're all healthy and safe here. We from the hello Keith, from the very beginning, but it's getting a little closed in. I mean, the longer this goes on and the more people that get it, it's certainly out there. Keith and I were talking about it the other day. In my county, there's something like 18,000 people
I've got it
that have
live
been tested positive.
Joe, live right in front of me, 20,140 in Nassau County, 633 deaths as of this exact moment.
Yeah, so it's all around you. And you know what? Healthcare workers and some really excellent hospitals in the area that are taking care of people, bringing them through. Unfortunately, there are people who are dying, but for them, healthy and well and recovering. So I'm very grateful.
So to put in
that.
perspective, Charlottesville has 27 cases, 0 deaths.
Yeah, yes. So when you go to the store, I am actually.
But that's because of what you look like, Joe. That's got nothing to do with anything.
I got gloves on.
There you
go. Yeah, I look like I'm going into a battle, but I have my mother-in-law with me who has some health challenges, so we need to make sure that this house stays germ-free.
You're in our thoughts and prayers, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Let's give us an update. How's Pearl managing through this crisis?
Well, you know what? Actually, the last time I was on the show, really taking care of our people and saying, okay, limit the travel, and as like hour by hour that we were changing the policy. So I was on the left, and since then we've all been grounded, and we've really took it at how to really help our people from a virtual basis, and B, what the future looks like and how we can really fine tune what we're doing to make it better. And we've come up with some fantastic ideas, and we're thriving in this, which is a really positive thing.
That's a hard word to say in this thing, right? Isn't that a hard word to say?
I was struggling. It is. I was. Not everybody is doing as well, especially in the look. I have friends of mine that have lost their significantly reduced. Sure. And I'm very grateful to have a company that's really on an upswing right now, can help our customers better, improve people's lives. So yeah.
So Yonna and I struggle with that word right now. So how do you actually say that? And I think that's where we came up with this moniker or this saying, stay safe and stay positive, right? So we're all staying positive, we're all staying safe. We will. I'm a Marine, so that's just the way I'm built, right? The move forward and all that stuff. But so we have requests, we have clients active clients, we have people that still want to sell their homes. How can they get Pearl certified from a virtual perspective? Talk us through how that works.
Sure. So before we jump into that, what's Cynthia, my CEO, and have come up with this theory that and figure out what you feel grateful about, because if you have gratitude and you're feeling grateful, it's impossible to have another feeling at that same time, especially in terms of being upset. So it's really figured from a group. We formulated like Thankful Thursdays. So on that together at noon, we decide to just talk about what we're grateful about rather than what's going on in the day, what's up with Pearl, what am I doing on my calendar. It's really so that's just the side note.
I'll add to that. I've started on Wednesday mornings at 8:15 a men's group Zoom, and no business, different companies, different relations, all about, hey Joe, how are you doing? Hey Jerry, how are you doing? That's it, just from a men's group kind of thing on that. So hey, my hat's off to you on that.
Excellent. So look, Pearl made a major pivot from we spoke about the last time. So we still have that virtual certification for the. How's the audio
Yeah, you're,
doing?
you're
By the
doing
way, am I
okay.
okay?
You're doing okay. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Mary had just
It's
messaged
a
me
little
that
choppy
we're
on your
okay.
end. I think the signal could be a little stronger. Yeah.
Okay. So what? So we had that virtual solar certification that we had just rolled out, and on the heels of that, obviously COVID hit, and what we have certifications that came across our our desk, Pearl, to send somebody into a house not knowing their condition they're in. So what we did was we started doing FaceTime walkthroughs of the home to have them, certify all the. We've done a handful of them around the country, and you know what? It's working right now. And look, if an agent wants, hey, look, I'd like to do a certification in the same way, and we'll figure out how to do a little through with the home, all those assets checked off, so we can put together a marketing packet for them.
So I know this is difficult for you and I because we're New Yorkers, but maybe if we just slow down a little bit on that, let the audio catch up with you a little bit on that, if you don't mind. I know it's hard for us, but if you could do that. So talk a little bit about, because we do this on our end of it now. We look, the reality of it is this is a crisis, but people are still trying to conduct business, right? So people are still buying and selling and all that stuff. And so what we have done is we made a bunch of new pivots to how we conduct business. So if we go to your house and you need to sell your house and somebody wants to show it, how are we doing this? And we're doing it exactly like you said. We're doing it with FaceTime, and if there's interest and we start going into next levels, and we're very fortunate that there's some transactions happening that way, because as Quinton said earlier, there are people that have to move. There are people that have to buy, right? They just can't stop. So my hat's off to you guys to go ahead and do this. I'm reading from some of your notes here. You put down here contractors pledge. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so there are still contractors out there that are conducting business, and what we needed to make sure going into a house that the people that were walking into the house to do the work, two or B, we needed to make sure that when they were in the house that they weren't spreading any germs or catching any germs themselves. So what we've done is we've created this pledge, and all the broker network needed to agree to the pledge in order to remain in the network. And hey, these are the steps that we're taking to ensure everyone's safety, not only our own people, but the homes that we walk into. Making sure that they take the temperature every day, making sure hands are washed before they enter into a home, food is left in the car. Things like not accepting. It's nice that you're offering, but we're graciously going to deny that. And thank right now we need to make sure that everybody stays safe. So we created this pledge, and the whose homes they're going into service love it as well.
They appreciate that. So I don't know if you had an opportunity to watch Quinton's section of it. So your contractors who happen to work in the state of Virginia, they've just today a 1099 unemployment scenario. So you might want to jot that down. We'll put it into the feed.
It's in the feed.
It's in the feed.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that some of your contractors, at least here in the state of Virginia, they will be able to apply just like any other unemployment thing. So if you might want to share that with some of your people, that would be great.
Absolutely.
So what else you got on your mind, Joe? Talk to us. Tell us what's going on.
There's a lot of uncertainty out there, right? I was listening to a little bit. Where is this real estate market going? I think the good news, if there's light at the end of this tunnel, is it'll normalize the market a little bit, right? I mean, that's the reality. We've been living in a shortage of homes for a long time for real estate agents, and difficult for buyers to get into homes. Hopefully, when we come out of this, it stabilizes the real estate market a little bit and flattens it out. I mean, that's really what I'm looking forward to. If there is a silver, hey, what impact will this have on real estate? And I think the natural progression, I think, will be good for everybody.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, like I said in the earlier show, we're going to bring some national and state level economists in to actually that's a lot smarter than me for sure, to go ahead and kind of speak to that. But everyone that's related, they're calling for a fourth quarter upswing. But that all depends on how the next few weeks go.
Yeah. Look, in a perfect world, we would come out of this, and it would be like the day that we entered it, right? I think that we may, that things will change. How we go about is going to change. The days of handshaking for the near future, I think, are over, right? And it's if I'm seeing more bodies in my house or less. So, as a real estate community, we need to react to those to figure out how to best service that seller, but still we sell it. That's why Pearl is looking at pivoting to more, again, the virtual certification front. All of real estate should be really looking at it. Maybe the days of open houses are over, and it'll be Zoom or Meet open houses where you're walking around homes, room to room, doing virtual.
Nobody knows,
maybe
but
that'll be it.
The whole purpose for today is to reach out to you. I have family not too far from where you're at, and I wanted to see how you were doing, how your family's doing, and when you and I spoke the other day, and I looked at those numbers, it shocked the hell out of me. So I just really wanted to touch base with you, my friend, and let everybody know that Pearl's still out there cranking away the best that they can, and that beautiful face is still sitting there going hard.
We love you, Joseph. We miss you.
We love you, man. Okay.
All right,
too,
right
buddy.
back at
Thank
you.
you.
Joseph Gentile, one of the good guys in the business. Thank you, Joseph, for joining us on the show. Before we get Jason, and guys, we get Jason, one of the co-founders of MarieBette, one of the co-owners coming on the program. And here's the trivia question. I'll ask the trivia question, and then I'm going to ask this question to follow up with Joseph's interview. We have 4 $25 gift cards to one of our sponsors, MarieBette. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's how you win a $25 gift card to MarieBette. We also have 10 masks, craft, custom-made masks here in the local community, like you see on the distinguished gentleman's face.
Without the mustache.
Without the mustache, yeah.
That's mine.
You customize that.
I
It
can
looks
custom.
good.
Extra $10.
Here's how you win. Gift cards to MarieBette or a mask. Guys, let us know. Sam King, welcome, buddy, to the show. Let us know 2 locally owned grocery stores in the city of Charlottesville.
Ooh.
Name 2 locally owned grocery stores. Locally owned grocery stores in the city of Charlottesville. Put the answer in the comments section of any of the 12 Facebook pages you're watching this show on to win a gift card to MarieBette or a mask to keep you safe and healthy. We'll pick winners today at about 11:15. Do you think when we get on the other side of this that it's going to go from undoubtedly a seller's market, which is what we were in, to more of a buyer's market?
Yeah. So, look, that's what all these smart folks with PhDs are telling us. And, I was just reading one of the talking points from Quinton earlier. Dr. Yoon, who's the chief economist for NAR, he anticipates a strong rebound in the third and fourth quarter, excuse me. The basic tenets haven't changed. And, there's a video I posted on Yonna and I's website, on our COVID-19 website, where it came actually from Dr. Yoon, where he kind of compares the last crisis to this crisis. And, look, it's a little bit, we're trying to be respectful and trying to tone down some of the comedy, even though I'm wearing a mustache. But the reality of it is, in the last downturn, the last time this happened, this cup of coffee could have bought $1 million house. The loan restrictions are there. The builders are only building 1 million units versus 2 million. So there's pent-up demand, and I think based on the local market and folks that I'm listening to, again, we talked about this earlier, folks like Sir Speedy, all these local businesses are chomping to hire their people back. So I think you're going to go through this huge spike of unemployment, then you're going to get this folks coming back. I will tell you what concerns me the most is how we ramp this up. And we're going to talk to Jason here in a minute, and he understands this better than anybody. In the restaurant business, you do something called a soft open, right? And, if this opening goes a little too fast, as the congressman said, we're going to get a second round of this. And if we get a second round of this, it's over, game over. And I'll tell you just a little anecdote, little thing which frankly scared me on the way coming in. Last Friday, when Yonna and I drove in, those of us know we live out in Fluvanna County.
Right.
When I drove in for the show, we were the only car on Route 53 in. Today it was packed.
Yeah. I noticed the same thing too. I now live on the east side of town. You know where I live?
Yeah, sure.
On the Keswick area. The entire time this has been going on, from Glenmore to this studio, it's been no traffic. Yeah. Today, coming down Pantops and Freebridge was traffic.
I got to tell you, that scared the shit out of me.
There was a lot of traffic out.
There's no FCC rules here.
No, you can say shit.
Yonna and I looked at each other and went, holy shit. And, it's just, I understand the frustration. I understand the hey, you want to get out. And, since we're super positive people, they were all going to the food store to go buy groceries or doctor's appointments is what I hope is the case. But.
Name 2 locally owned grocery stores. We got answers coming in.
I got one.
We only have one right answer, and that's the Chief Executive Officer at Roy Wheeler Realty Company. Michael Guthrie has one of the right answers. Name 2 locally owned grocery store. I am not accepting, for those that are putting this in the feed now, I am not accepting Brown's on Avon as a grocery store. That is more of a gas station, convenience store, and fried chicken joint. 2 locally owned grocery stores. Put them in the comment section to win a $25 gift card to MarieBette. We have 4, and 10 masks we're giving away to get you healthy and keep you healthy. Jason's going to join us in a couple of seconds here. I really, really, really think Joseph is just a guy I want as a friend.
Oh yeah, if nobody was watching this, I would just enjoy that conversation. Just love the heck out of him.
I agree. We're going to go to Judah, the Skype, and let's get Jason on the phone. I'm giving you a heads up. Jason and Patrick, co-founders of MarieBette on Rose Hill Drive. They're one of the fantastic sponsors of this show. Judah, I have Jason on the line. Jason, we'll get you to activate that camera if you could for us, so we can see your handsome face on screen. There is the man himself. Jason, you're live for Charlottesville and Central Virginia. You have one of the most fabulous restaurants and brands in Virginia through a lot of hard work. I'll get out of your way. Let's just go. You personally, you and the family, how you guys holding up now in this COVID-19 world we're living in?
It's been, I feel like this week is, I feel like this week has been starting to settle out, and I can't tell whether or not it's because of Easter weekend and it's just kind of getting a little bit busier, or it's just settling out the last 3 weeks or so of just every challenge and trying to figure out doesn't and readjusting the business model. But it's been tiring. I feel like we're in a lot from table service to takeout wasn't so extreme because we're already doing a lot of takeout anyway, and we have the bakery. Yeah, it's been challenging. I can't say it's been easy.
So how are you personally doing, my friend? I think the world of you. I know you can't have the mustache mask. It's mine.
Somewhere. I'm doing okay. Whenever I feel kind of down, I just kind of, have to think like everyone is going through this. Everyone, not just in Charlottesville or in Virginia or States. This is like a global pandemic, so it's a struggle for everyone, and so I have to keep that in perspective. Doesn't mean that things are easy, but putting that in perspective kind of.
So we were talking offline. We both have family back home, right? You and I shared this struggle. Some of our family members are not taking this as serious as others, and so we just constantly reinforce with our family members, this is not in your best interest. This is not good for everybody. So I just my hat's off to you, man. You're always thinking of you. And according to Yonna, apparently I own stock in the company, but
You do.
I just buy a lot of your stuff. And it was funny. Last Tuesday we were Jerry and I at the end of the show. He was talking about his COVID 15.
Yeah, dude, Jason, remember the freshman 15 in college? And the last month I put on the COVID-19, dude. I mean, it's like quarantining myself, not being around friends and staying active or going to the gym or ACAC, eating too much of the amazing food in restaurants here and trying to support you guys with the takeout model. How about this question? You have, and I'm not just saying this, you're literally your restaurant in Rose Hill. My wife, on her birthday, I'm like, you get to go anywhere you want. She said French toast, brunch, MarieBette, let's go. And that's what we did. And your place is great. How about the mindset as a small business owner, the mindset as a guy that has team members that rely on you to pay their bills here? Give us what was going through your mind with staying open, closing, all that stuff.
So for, we were thought that we would ever have to lay anybody off, ever. Our business is really strong, doing really well. And then literally Monday to Tuesday, the business level dropped 50%. And so we had to make some hard decisions. And we have, obviously the dining room is closed, so we had to lay off our servers and our food runners. We didn't have any, everything was to go, so we didn't have any dishes to wash. We lost a lot of wholesale clients, some restaurants who had closed down. So we had to lay off some people who we had just hired. We were gearing up. We had a few employees who had only been working for us for maybe a few weeks at that point. So it was hard. We had to also cut from existing staff, and our goal was to keep as many people as we possibly can and give as many hours to them as we possibly can. And then, of course, there's the whole trying to figure out government aid. The city of Charlottesville was offering a small business grant of $2,000. They had so much interest in it that they had to cut the program and give people only $1,000 for a grant, which is, at the end of the day, that's a drop in the bucket for what operating costs are. We bank with VMB, a good local bank, and they our loan officer was really amazing with helping us to secure the PPP loan. We got the funds Friday when the application came out. We had pretty much all that we needed. Our accountants put together for us and got that taken care of. I know a lot of friends who have working with larger banks, more corporate banks, and it's been a real struggle for them to even get those applications in. They started their application the same day we did, and it still has. So, yeah, I mean, it's,
Jason, I'd love to jump in if you don't mind at that point. So we talk about it on the show constantly, local. That is a prime example. When we were doing what we were doing, I always used local banks. Our personal story, right? Last go around, we lost $17 million. I've been in your shoes before. The only thing that ever made me cry in the middle of the night was having to lay people off, right? That was because Jerry, we're all about giving. Everybody thinks this is about the money. It's not really. This is about giving and giving community, which you guys are super great at. And that's the reason why, don't tell my wife, but that's the reason I love you, man. So, but
that's the reason why Charlottesville loves you.
Charlottesville loves you. But real quick. So we're going to a 2-week show format here on Real Talk. Last Tuesday we had Michael Payne in. So what we're going to do on our Tuesday shows is we're going to bring local elected officials. We had Michael Payne on and we had Ned Galloway on. We're going to bring some of the other jurisdictions, Flavanna, so that they can get out some more information out to the general public on how to access it. So I would, if you don't have certain information, he provided a bunch last Tuesday. So just go into the feed and pick that up. But I got to ask you a really super important question. Yonna asked me this morning, how do I get my hot cross buns? So apparently she's calling it.
I knew you were going to ask that.
She's calling me. She's calling this. She looked at me. She goes, "You know what that is, right?" And I'm going, "No." She goes, "That's the MarieBette 20 pounds you're carrying around."
Have you gained weight too?
I gained 20 pounds. Thanks to him.
You've gained 20 pounds since COVID-19?
No.
Okay, how about COVID-19? Have you gained weight?
No.
You have not gained weight?
No, I gained weight since I've met
Jason,
him.
how much weight have you gained?
Stepped on a scale.
Smart guy.
I'm kind of afraid to. So our gym closed.
Right,
and,
mine too.
They have, and they have like Zoom workouts, and too. We've just been so busy every day trying to adjust that. I haven't had time to like. There's this whole thing about take some time off, clean your basement, garden. For us, we also have two small children who were supposed to be homeschooling, just basically spend the day with us here, and then So I mean, I really haven't had a lot of time to really do very.
I'm going to
much
throw this to you
active.
here. I've been working, and we're small business owners. We work our tails off. I've been working harder now than ever as a business owner because of all of that other bullshit that's coming in that I have to do that takes hours and hours to fill out.
Yeah. I mean, the whole process of getting all those forms together, phase, trying to figure out. We have a new POS system to do online orders. Trying to figure. I mean, that was a nightmare. Trying to get that all in order. There's some benefits to doing it now because we're it's stressful.
Right, and it's
like
not the kind of work we want to do. I mean, you're a baker. I got into advertising. That's not why we got into this.
Yeah. The other thing I want to mention is that it's often overestimated how much money restaurant owners in particular have. Dollars, and most restaurants struggle really for the first year they're open to kind of, and I think that really important for government officials and for the general public to just realize, that we have perishable breed onto for a few months and just sit on it until the market gets better. This is, I had a whole walk-in full of fresh produce. Either you make a soup out of it, or you employees, or you eat it yourself. You figure out something to do with it, but it's not making you any money. It is out from being in the red. So we're going to see a lot of places are just not going to make it. This is really, really, really hard on restaurants. I think there needs to be, if you like your restaurants, the ones that are still open through takeout or delivery, but also just realize that this is an industry fragile.
Jason, we're going to have to wrap up here in a minute, man. We're here for you. You're welcome back anytime. We're doing our best to promote you, but to echo what you just said, there's multiple resources available that one can get online to order stuff. Yonna and I do this. We don't come into town, but now, frankly, on Fridays. But when we do, we make sure that we take prepared meals from our local restaurants home. We order them online, pick them at the curb, bring them, do our very best to support a local community. And at some point, I'd want to bring you on because there's nobody better than you that understands a soft open, right? And I asked the congressman last Friday, what does this look like? How does this soft open happen for a country? And so at some point, I'd love to bring you on just to talk about that. So, from all your experience, what does this reopening look like in your opinion? So, just kind of make a note of that, and we'll talk here very shortly. Miss you guys, love you guys. Hang in there, man.
Thank you, Jason. You have a good one, dude. Peace and love, brother. Jason, good people right there. Thank you for joining us. You go from, and this is any business, gangbusters.
Sure.
Dude, what was the number you wrote down that he just said? Over 50% drop?
Oh, yeah.
In sales. Think about that. Crazy.
Yeah, that's a huge number.
Yeah.
And our service-related folks, right? That's really our economy.
Oh, yeah.
And we just need to go out and support them. And like Jason said, if there's multiple of restaurants that are still doing it, go out and support them. Because when we get through this, we're all going to want to go out to eat. And if we don't support them during this time, they're not going to be there. Charlottesville, in the Charlottesville region, it may look different, right? And we may end up doing business different. We'll get through this, right? We got through 9/11, we got through August, right out front your door. We will get through this. We will come out much better on the other side. We talked about this, love on one another. If you know somebody who's shut in,
check on them.
Check on them. If you're not comfortable checking on them, go to the local restaurant, buy a meal, put it in a bag, put it on the front door. Yonna and I are doing this with all our shut-in neighbors that we know. Ring the bell and run, right? And so this is an opportunity to show the love. I will tell you. On a positive note.
Okay. I like positive.
My front porch has become my office.
Nice.
I can't tell, at a very safe distance, I'm actually having every day a half a dozen conversations for half an hour or more with my next door neighbors. And we're reconnecting in a way that we've never connected over 20 years that we've been there. So reach out.
I've noticed that as well.
Yeah. Are you seeing that in your neighborhood?
I am seeing that as well. I mean, I'm seeing more people out and enjoying a neighborhood. Sure. And actually enjoying life.
Sure. And
smelling the roses. I know it's a cliche, than I've ever seen before. It's almost like life is slowing down a little bit.
Sure.
And we're prioritizing in-person experiences that were so often forgotten pre-COVID because of this or because just the high speed of everyone going 1,000 miles an hour.
So we're having...
You've noticed that?
Oh, totally. So we're having excuse me, I'm going to adjust my mask here. The Smith family is having an Easter brunch remotely. And we have people all over the country. We're actually having folks from Europe going to chime in, and we're going to do a big Zoom Easter brunch. For the folks in Europe, it's going to be not brunch, but it'll be
Billy
dinner.
Kernick, the owner of Vivi's Cakes and Candy, the fabulous mixologist at Lost Saint in the Tavern and Grocery Speakeasy, he's giving you props. Salute your service, Marine.
Thank you.
We have 4 $25 gift cards to MarieBette. You see them here, $25 each. Name 2 locally owned grocery stores in the city of Charlottesville. Name 2 locally owned grocery stores in the city of Charlottesville. From my standpoint, when I went into this trivia question, I knew there were 3 right answers. 3 right answers. I am not accepting Brown's on Avon as a grocery store. That's a convenience store, gas station, fried chicken joint. Would you like me to pick the winners or give the answers now, Keith Smith?
I'm letting you run this trivia thing, so you do what you see as best. I only know of one.
Okay, so. And the one you know is?
Reed's.
Okay, so Reed's is one of 3. Mm-hmm. Reed's is one of 3. Reed's is the one that most people got. Also, I was thinking 3 locally owned grocery stores in the city of Charlottesville, Foods of All Nations.
Yeah, would you consider that locally owned?
I'd say that's locally owned.
Okay.
It's someone in the community.
Got it.
Someone lives in Charlottesville. Also, Market Street Market.
Oh, yeah.
The grocery store right next to us.
Man, I missed that. That's
Yep.
perfect.
There's 3. We wanted 2. So Michael Guthrie is one of the winners. He said Reed's and Foods of All Nations. Well done, Michael Guthrie. Tracy Lee Shiflett is one of the winners. Tracy Lee Shiflett said Foods of All Nations and Reed's. Congratulations, Tracy Lee Shiflett. We also have a winner on the I Love CVille page. In fact, we have a few. Alex Butterfield, Reed's and Market Street Market. Well done, Alex Butterfield. He also said Gibson's Grocery, but Gibson's Grocery is now closed. Andre Xavier said Reed's and Market Street Market. So 4 winners there.
There you go.
I'll tag you in the comment section after the show, and you connect with them.
Sure.
How about
if they wish for me to give these cards out to somebody else, just have them put it in the feed, and we'll be more than happy to give this to a restaurant worker that is in need, or a homeless person. So if that's what they wish to do, they can PM me or whatever, and we'll be more than happy to do that.
Absolutely willing to do that. All right, dot the I's, cross the T's. What did you learn this week, distinguished gentleman Keith Smith?
Well, the 1099 thing is huge. And what Yonna and I are doing this week, we actually, I think we talked about this the other day, we put up in our house a big whiteboard, almost the size of this thing here.
Okay.
And we wrote all our names in our lives.
Okay.
And we split it up in half.
Okay.
And I'm taking half and she's taking half. And this is clients and family members, and we categorize people we haven't talked to in a while. And we're just sitting down and we are making phone calls.
Beautiful.
And how you doing? How's things going in your life? That's it. No, nothing more than that. Just a check-in phone call or text or email. But we're preferring to speak to folks, and that's what we're doing. We're doing business, as Jason said and you said. We're extremely busy, but we're busy communicating with people, right, and helping people. But yeah, we're on this board. I will have to tell you, Yonna's much better at this than I am, and her side of the ledger looks a little bit stronger than my side, so I got a little bit of catching up to do.
This is what I learned this week. I'm gonna throw it to you. I learned that we had the largest jobless claims in the history of the U.S.
Sure.
In the middle of this week, at 6,600,000 people without a job on the unemployment line.
Sure.
The previous record was 600,000. And at that moment, it got me down. But then my spirits changed and got positive. They got positive because of the federal government releasing another relief package of $2.3 trillion. They got positive because I see the stock market responding. They got positive because I see the community responding and listening from a quarantining and social distancing standpoint. And they further got positive because I've seen what this community has already done with August 12, 2017, and I know if we can manage that,
Sure.
and we're still doing it,
Sure.
now we can manage a virus.
On the flip side, this drive-in scared the hell out of me. This isn't over, folks, right? So we need to be a little smart about what we're doing. As the congressman said, if we're smart about this and navigate this as a team, as a country, we'll do fine. But man, a second version of this.
I don't think there's going to be a second version.
I agree. As you know, we have family out in Seattle, and they're taking their mobile field hospitals down, which is a great sign. But I'm really curious to hear what Jason has to think of what a soft open looks like. We've got the congressman coming back, working on a senator, so our goal is just trying to get, get as much information out as possible.
This is Real Talk, powered by the Yes Team Realtors. We're back Tuesday at 10:15 a.m. On this network to further spotlight education, knowledge in an approachable, friendly, and interactive setting.
So if you need a mask, there's a link we'll put in it. Local, a way to support local, just like Jason said, he's using a local bank. Support local, get yourself a mask, and protect everybody around.
I love it. Great show today. Thank you for lining up the guests.
My pleasure.
Have a good weekend, safe, healthy weekend, positive weekend. We will see you next week. Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Good job, Judo. I think we got 4 winners on the gift cards.
Yeah.
Good job. I'm going to give you this here, Keith. Overall.